What's going on, gamers? We have a lot of complaints here about the God of War uh, Laufey reveal. A lot of people are complaining about visual aestheticism when it comes to the face of Laufey, but not only that, but Sony replacing male protagonists in their mind with female protagonists. And I'm like, but this is a spinoff, though. Kratos is not going away. This is where they're wrong. And where has there been a bad God of War game? This is not the next main line. By the way, thank you guys for all the support today. The autopsy finished, so we're gonna have to go see how things are. Yeah, day 3 on losing my brother. So yeah, I mean things haven't really got that much better, but I have to focus on something. So thank you all for the support and for all the comments that you put on my channel. I deeply appreciate that. Let's continue. Getting into this though, let's get to David Jaffe because he's trying to dump on the game automatically. Interesting. He says God of War creator says the new Laufey title is not God of War. David Jaffe added the originals had their hooks right. It was Kratos is a badass Greek mythology, violence, etc. Right. The interesting thing is if you watch that final boss fight and some of those scenes, that's in there. It's not like that's gone. If the game is good, I don't care. You know what I find so funny about this too? And we're going to get to some comments here after we end up looking at certain other things. You get the combat that you get, and nobody's complaining about the combat. They're complaining about the appearance of a woman and the aestheticism to the face. I mean, this is God of War, right? Which I'm like, we have to see how good the game is. And the game actually looks epic like you would see from Kratos. I actually found a clip before we go back over there. Let's go ahead and go to this clip real quick about what David Jaffe is actually saying here. Let's get ready to take a look at this because this is what he had to say. And then we're going to take a look at some other stuff.
The God of War thing, though, if it wasn't called God of War, to me, this feels like one of those trailers that someone has to remind you about. And then you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's kind of cool, you know. It's like it's God of War, so I'm not hyped for it, but of course I'm going to play it and I'm going to stream it and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But as it relates to just, I think it's terrible. I mean,
That's what he said. He thought it was terrible, and it wasn't a trailer. It was actually full gameplay. It was like almost 20 minutes. I didn't really see what the problem was if I'm looking at a video game in action, unless you want to get super, super strict on politics and thinks that every single one of Sony's games is now over featuring females as a protagonist. But this is a spin-off. Are you not allowed to make a spin-off? It's not like Kratos is gone and she's taken over now God of War. No, Kratos is still there. Cory Borlaug came out and said, no, Kratos has many stories. He's not done, right? And I thought that he was going to be directing this, which is interesting. And another thing is that Cory Borlaug is not being featured as a director and that it is a female. And a lot of people think when they see this, it's the same thing that's going on with the agenda with Neil Druckmann. It's, too much feminism. This is the stuff that people are complaining about. But if Cory Borlaug is behind there secretly, which I think he is, and it's kind of like guiding, he's kind of still there. But I can understand why people want to look at it that way if you are deeply into the political realm and that's the way you want to see everything rather than also seeing a good video game. And that's why I feel like when it comes to politics, you need to realize this is also video games. And certain people are just going to shut down everything. And this is why Sony stopped putting some of their games on PC too, because it's like, oh, I'm not going to completely play that at all. But it could be a really good game. Just like Ghost of Yote is actually a really good game. But do I agree with some of those political rants that have Antifa in it with what's her face? No, but she wasn't able to go into that game and change it like that though. It was still the Ghost of Tsushima feeling I got, but better open world, insane engine, 1800p, 60 frames per second. It looked really good. It played really good. Absolutely blew away every other game when you think about, let's see how other engines look like this and play like this. It was absolutely extraordinary. And that was before PSSR 2 came out. I don't know if you guys don't remember that. Ghost of Yote, like how incredible it was on the PS5 Pro, just even the base console. It was blown away and embarrassing the Unreal Engine 5. Let's continue though and see what else this clown has to say.
I think it's terrible. I don't think it's gonna sell what they need it to sell, assuming it is expensive. I don't know if it's expensive.
It'll sell.
But assuming it's expensive, I don't think this is gonna. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with that? I need the backstory for this fucking thing. I need to know if
I get what he's saying like that. It's not going to sell as much as it is as Kratos would sell, obviously, because Kratos and like Nathan Drake, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but it's gonna do fine. It's a spinoff, by the way. It's not the main line. This is one thing we need to realize. Now, if this came as the main line and Kratos is kind of like got somehow boss rushed off, I could understand that. But when somebody tells you this is a spinoff, we're also giving you the God of War trilogy with Kratos, and Kratos has the next story. I don't see what's there to complain about then.
Corey's like, look, he wanted to do something else. He was promised he'd get
Well, video game perspective.
Sony for I'm making all this up. I don't have data. You know, they came down and disappointed him and said, nope, we got to play it safe. Money's tight, whatever. Gaming overall is.
So what he was saying towards the end there too is that it depends on the budget of this game. Is this like a budgeted God of War spinoff with the new director, and then all the other main budgets are going to the mainline Kratos game fully, and going into the trilogy remake, which is going to be 3 games. He needs more information. So of course he said it looks terrible to him, but that's not terrible. No, dude, this ain't no Forspoken. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Nakeem says this guy has been hating on God of War since 2018. Yeah, for sure. I agree. It felt like Disney's God of War. The tone shift on God of War franchise since Ragnarok needs to be studied. Well, here's the thing. You do know what her power is, right? Fae? You know what Fae means? Fairy? But she's still whooping ass like Kratos. I mean, you do know this. Look how she fought that demon, you know what I mean? Or whatever that creature was. The interesting thing is that just fits her perspective. You're trying to make it seem like Kratos got shifted with some Fae powers and he's acting like that. That's not what happened at all. It was still pretty much masculine. And that's where I feel like from a gameplay perspective, nobody's complaining. They're complaining from who got shown as a director and the way that she appeared and the way that her face is. That same thing was kind of said about a couple other characters. Like if you think about what's going on in Star Wars Outlaws, they didn't like that. Though I thought that they should have done with that game's just it was mid. We should have had a Han Solo. You know what I mean? And that's not because I think of an old woman should be on the screen. It's like, no, let's go to Bayonetta. Let's go to Tomb Raider. Let's go to Nier Automata. Let's go to Stellar Blade. Remember, we talked about this before. It just depends on how you do it. And most people who watch too much, you know, are trying to look for that because it appeases to their aesthetic appeal and imagination. And I say when I'm playing God of War, I'm not looking to look at a Athena all day. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm here to enjoy a badass game, a good story, and good direction, and good writing, and have some epic fights. And if I get that, I'm cool with that. But I'm not picking up that game, you know, when I do to get a Kratos experience. That's what Kratos is for. It looked like, though, it was, you know, matching some of that on some of those battle scenes. You still have that great God of War development there. Infinitel says he's not wrong. The last couple of games were directed by people that don't understand what appealed to audiences that made the first 3 games and their PSP side games such as. There is a shift in that. You know what I mean? I'm not disagreeing with that, but Ragnarok was still amazing. But I don't think it was as good as part 1. A feminist Redditor's Dungeons and Dragons campaign with cute little creatures, quirky gelatinous cubes, and purple everywhere isn't it. Oh, well, I know what they mean about going back to games that are too purple and all of that compared to how they used to be. It's just that balance being shifted around, and they're talking about feminism. You know, it's in a bad spot if this dude's not defending it. God of War Day 1, Game of the Year, that's what people were saying. So that's what was going on here, guys. So we're going to go back over to the other posts. There's so many posts here to look at, it gets interesting. Here's the next complaint. The new God of War Faye spinoff is getting a huge backlash from making the in-game character way uglier than Deborah Ann. So we're looking at her there, and we're seeing this here. People wanted this instead of a really good video game. But here's the thing. What is her age at this time? How is she looking being transferred into that other world? We need more questions about why this is going on. So this is once again about somebody's face, not how good a video game is. I think that can also be feminine sometimes. Like, it's like, why are you complaining about that? I thought we were playing a video game. That's what I care about the most. So I'm not playing an online game where I need to customize my character and their faces have to look like that. Okay, well, that's a little bit different. The voice and the motion captured actress behind Faye. Sony did it again. You can thank the usual consultants. So here goes the other complaint. So before that, he said it looks terrible. Now it's about her face. And then the third thing is the female director that Cory Borlaug is pretty much guiding. So, and then this has 1.7 million views. Delirium comes down and does this because, you know, that's the AI audience. But I would say she looks more like a child here. Yeah, Japanese game devs versus Western game devs. Of course, they do. Asians do give you hot-looking females. There's no doubt about that. That's not an argument. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, and I can understand that too. But not every game has to be like a female that needs to look like a sexual attracting doll to the male aesthetic mindset. It's more like sometimes, like I think sometimes some of you could be perverts, meaning that every female needs to just be some sexual model for you. And there can't be any other types that can have any sort of expression. I think that that's a little bit off. But I understand when it comes to Japan, yeah, they do a really good job with this. No doubt about that. You just want better looking art. Same thing over here. We're going to bring up Stellar Blade probably. And of course, I don't have any problem with this. I agree with you in a lot of ways. I'm just saying that not every character is going to be looking like that. Hideo Kojima managed to recreate some fashion models. Of course. They do a much better good job. Now, if they look like this in real life and you want to replicate them in the game, I think it is better to do them service. Western society, there's no doubt that there has been like far left manipulation going on for making them look ugly, just like, you know, the bald look and all that. Like, I don't like any of that either. I can understand what you're saying from that standpoint. But if I get a really good video game, that's what I'm here for. This is not politics, this is video games. But the problem is that it's invading it and people don't like it. They were hoping the shift has been better and that they would probably never see that again. This is what I mean, though. Greta Thunberg of war. That's funny. Her hair does not look like that. But I can understand what you guys are saying. So this is the second complaint, guys. Now, I want you guys to let me know what you think about this, obviously. Remember, become a member if you want. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate that. And we got Grums. David Jaffe, God of War creator, reacts to the reveal of God of War, saying it looks like crap, so inspired and dull. David is going to get a lot of crap for this, so props for him, Kala. You know how this guy is about certain things like that. A lot of people don't like him. Some people do. Here we go again. The God of War meltdown. Sony revealed God of War Laufey at State of Play, a spinoff where you play Kratos' dead wife, Faye, in the afterlife of the gods. Within hours, it became 3 wars at once, and the loudest one was built on a lie. David Jaffe, the original creator, called it dead and compared it to Forspoken on stream, which is stupid. Writer Elena Pierce confirmed she spent 4 years on it. The project and NDA banned her from naming, while people called her a fraud. The viral "they made her ugly" image compares a glam photo shoot to a character who literally just died. 23 minutes of new combat shown, and 0 of the outrage was about how it actually plays, because it actually looked amazing. Like when you saw the combat, everything, I said, that's God of War. They just don't like that appearance. This seems to be the biggest meltdown over it. And then comparing her, our model character, to that. We've seen this with Star Wars Outlaws, and of course about what people are complaining about when it comes to other things. Okay, Techdown says, what in the F are they doing? No fan of God of War is going to want to play this woke garbage. Yeah, let me swap from playing as mother effing Kratos. God of War, a man who multiple women at once and kills the gods themselves, to mid-ass 40-year-old white woman, actually horrendous, hard skip, gay as hell. Okay, yeah, he doesn't like it either. But I know, yeah, he's pushing hard on the Republican side as well. And here's the thing, there's just people that they want things to stay masculine as possible. If it's a good video game, I want the good video game experience. And I understand, like they're hoping like, hey man, this is not Bayonetta, this is not Stellar Blade. And that's what I mean. Some people are going to come out like that, and they have a right to express that type of opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. Then there's going to be some people that are also going to get offended big time by this as well. This is not the God of War game that I want, obviously. I want to continue with Kratos. Obviously, I feel that way, just like I wanted to continue with Jin. But Ghost of Yotei was still a good game. I had a good time with it, for sure. A lot of other things around it are actually really good. So, but when it comes to politics, like I said, it can get pretty ugly. No doubt about that. That's just how it's always going to be. It's a double-edged sword for good. So here we go, guys. We kind of get the idea here. People are not happy on certain spectrums, and there's going to be people that are going to call them, like Nib is saying, hate merchants and their sheep are not complaining. You know, he's making, this is the other thing. She's now the game director instead of Cory Borlaug. So they're thinking this is feminist agenda pushing. In a way, I can't say it's not. Faye will be the protagonist in a new God of War spinoff, God of War. You know what I mean? So, guys, I want you guys to let me know. Okay, here goes the other guy. I clearly worded my initial reaction to God of War Laufey in a way that people didn't understand, so let me try again. The idea of the game is cool. The afterlife, I mean. A lot to chew on here, right? The concept of running into Ares, Athena, Zeus, etc. is very exciting or interesting. The different mythologies clashing is a cool idea. However, I have gripes with this in a similar way that I do with Ragnarok. In my opinion, Ragnarok was a disappointment. I'll link my review for years ago below. I felt like Santa Monica didn't take enough risk with the story or characters there, and it was too handholdy. I know what you mean compared to part 1. What we have here with Laufey feels similar. It looks almost exactly how Ragnarok worked. Linear path, cinematic, moment, rinse, repeat. Not very excited for that. Secondly, the cute thing is just, I'm going to be honest, I just don't like it from the first glance. Of all things, we could think of it as a companion. It was that. It's too early, of course, but either way, it feels odd and off. The sword is cool. No idea where it's from. I really like the design of the Egyptian and Tibetan gods. They look sick. But this brings me to the other big question, which is Faye. Do I want to play as her? Not really, no. Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Most people want Kratos. That's why this is a spinoff. Gun to my head, it was never a character I thought, wow, I want to play that person. I wish Thor lived, because I would love to play as Thor for obvious reasons. But Faye, not really, no. I get what you're saying. Nobody asked to play as Faye. They're kind of like pushing that. And they saying it is an agenda. I have a lot of questions about this game. Probably going to explore it in a future video game. Either way, I'm seeing people trying to claim like they know me. That I am somehow a shill all of a sudden, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. I haven't changed. I'm still against a lot of what goes on in games. I don't think Sony needed another female-led game. It's getting ridiculous now. That's what I'm saying. They feel like female boss rushing. Either way, the people out here trying to act like they know me are just flat out wrong, and anyone claiming to somehow know my brain and what I think is just conspiracy theories. I'll cover this in a video eventually. Either way, I wasn't blown away by the state of play. Wolverine looks underwhelming. Faye has me confused. At least Ill looks sick. Also, to people saying I'm shilling for Sony, what? I'm extremely critical of them. I've criticized them plenty. I just released a video criticizing them not even a week ago, too. Like I said, a lot of random dumb conspiracy theories out there. Anyways, I'll keep moving. So there we have it. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. First and foremost, what I'm always for is a really good video game. Now, I can understand the male masculine perspective against over feminism being pushed into the gaming world, which they view as masculine. And that's just the way things are going to work in Western society and also in other areas around the world. So I look at both sides, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if it's a really good video game, I look forward to playing it. But did I ask to play as Kratos' wife? Is that a good projection? I can understand that. You want more Kratos. That's just how it's going to be. So let me know what you guys think as usual. Later.